Hello, people. Back at it again. Another episode of The World is Burning. Thanks for everyone who's subscribed so far. Give us a follow if you want to watch the world burn with the community that we're building here. We're just following the economic crises and the big collapses that are happening. And one of the big issues people face is they're living paycheck to paycheck. We look at this here. This is crazy. The stats are saying between 55% and 63% of Americans are likely living paycheck to paycheck. 3 in 4 Americans who earn less than 50,000 are living paycheck to paycheck. So yeah, it's rough out here for the Americans. The UK, we're not much better. They're saying about a third of workers, 36% are living paycheck to paycheck, which is not great at all, but at least it's not that American. America, it sounds like 2/3 of people are living paycheck to paycheck. So let's jump into it, guys. Let's see what the world is saying.
Got paid. I got $5,000 in the bank.
Oh yeah, good job. But before you do anything, make sure you set aside $1,500 for me. And you already know I would need $300. And I would need $350 because I go with him. And don't forget $150 for me. I will also need that $500 you promised me. Don't forget to set aside another $300 for me. You want to be able to call your divorced wife or family members? That's $40 for me. You want to Netflix and chill with your girlfriend? I would definitely need $60.
I keep an expensive girlfriend. That's $1,000 for me.
But after every expenses, I'm only left with a few $100. Yeah, I'd really advise you to follow Best Go to learn how to manage your money.
Got paid.
Yeah, and you're left with a few $100, and that's to live, that's to invest, that's to do everything with, which isn't enough. So how are you going to save for your future when you're left with absolutely nothing?
If you're living paycheck to paycheck, you're probably thinking, when is this ever going to end? How can I stop it? Let's go over a couple things. You'll stop living paycheck to paycheck when you are absolutely, completely sick and tired of living this way. And there are a lot of changes that have to be made. This year is not over yet. It's not too late to start right now, today. Don't wait until January and then Christmas comes around and we all get the Christmas crazies and spend all of our money. That's not a good plan. If we want to stop living paycheck to paycheck, the most important thing is learning how to manage money. If we can't manage to keep $500, what do you think is going to happen with $5,000 or $50,000? Go through your monthly expenses, see what can be lowered. Cut back on any unnecessary spending that you're doing every month, whether that's out to eat, shopping, any of those things. You have to learn how to control your spending. And raising your income is not necessarily going to help you learn to manage money, but sometimes it does make it a little bit easier to manage our bills and things like that if we have more income coming in. But if you really want to stop living paycheck to paycheck, you have to learn how to manage your money.
Yeah, she's
You're
spot
living
on
paycheck
here.
to
You really
paycheck,
do
you're
need to
probably-
manage your money. Even if you don't have a lot of money, you need to know exactly what's coming in, when it's going out, the dates it's going out. You have to be on top of things. Budgeting, you got to do that, guys.
Allie has $36,000 in credit card debt and wants to stop living paycheck to paycheck. Let's see how I can help her get back on track. She lives at home, so her expenses in the grand scheme of her budget are not that crazy, but there are some recommendations I would make for her. A car lease in general just sucks, to be honest. You pay on it every month, and then you only
Yep.
get to keep the car in the end if you buy it. You
Yep.
usually end up driving a car that you can't afford to buy, and it
Yep.
ends up costing you more on the car in the long run. I don't know her exact lease terms, but you usually can't just break a lease without a bunch of fees. So my recommendation would be, when the lease is up, to finance a reliable used car with a lower monthly payment.
Yeah, that's what
And
I'm
then
doing.
everyone has their own priorities.
Well, not
You can
financing
definitely
it.
keep splurges in your budget, like this $115 gym membership and $350 for going out to eat, if that's where your priorities lie. Everyone deserves to have things in their budget that bring them joy, and budgeting is about choosing those things wisely and making sure that the things that we are splurging on are serving us. For her debt, she pays $686 a month for her minimums. Over in her budget, she brings in $3,372 per month. According to what she sent me for her expenses, she should theoretically have over $1,100 left over. But she told me that she's living paycheck to paycheck, so where is that money going? What she needs to do is track every dollar she spends for at least 30 days and analyze that data. Because if she says she's living paycheck to paycheck, but these numbers are telling me otherwise, then there are a whole lot of other expenses, potentially over $1,100 worth, that aren't being accounted for here. She has $300 in her checking account, so the first thing she needs to do is bulk up that savings to somewhere between $1,000 and 1 month of expenses.
Yep.
This is so that when she jumps into paying down her debt, she has a small buffer, so if an emergency comes up, she won't have to use a credit card to pay for that. For her debt calculator, I have her using the debt avalanche method. I want her to tackle this high interest credit card debt first because it's costing her twice as much in interest every month than her line of credit. I think a reasonable amount for her to contribute to this first high interest debt on top of the minimum would be $700 per month out of that $1,100, but she'll have to log her actual transactions to see if there are big pieces of her expenses missing from her budget that she didn't include. If she could do that extra $700 a month, they would both be paid off in August of 2026. If she's able to increase her income with extra side jobs or extra shifts, or if she's able to decrease some expenses and contribute an extra $1,000 a month, that will shorten that time to January of 2026. So here's the monthly breakdown of her two debts. You can see she's contributing $1,000 on top of the minimum payment to her credit card until it's paid off, and then that monthly payment, that $320, is being added into this payment until that line of credit is paid off. I want to make it clear that probably the only reason that her budget is in the positive right now is because she still lives at home. If she had rent and utilities on top of this, she would probably be in the negative every month. So my recommendation for Allie is to use this time while she's still living at home to get back on track, pay off these debts, and make sure that she's living within her means. If she doesn't have this debt taken care of and this overspending addressed, it's going to become a lot more difficult to dig herself out.
Yeah, give this Beckonomics a follow, guys, if you're in debt. And there's no shame living at home with your parents. If you've got a good deal where they're letting you live for free or it's absolutely cheap, like, barely any rent you're paying them, ride that out, stack some cash or pay off your debts. Look at this one here, this comment. 36k in credit card debt is insane. It should be capped at 10k for average users. 100% agree with that. But they want you to rack up as much debt as possible. And this one here, girl, I need your help badly. I'm ready to get serious about tackling this. I think if you're American, this girl will actually do this for you as well. So definitely one to follow and check out.
I'll guarantee you this. 95% of you listening to me right now do not do a unique written budget every month unique to that month. Almost no one does. Those that do, however, find all kinds of money that's being lost.
Yeah, it's a good point that, every month's different.
Rich people ask how much. Broke people ask how much down and how much a month.
Yeah, Dave does not like people going on credit, does not like people going into debt. I kind of agree. Yeah, we've got a bad mindset in the world right now with this buy now, pay later, finance everything. And we have to change that mindset. Honestly, everyone has to change that mindset because we're not going to last much longer if we just keep racking up debts.
There was that article the other day talking about 65% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Living paycheck to paycheck is like a crazy sensation, but most people don't even realize they live in paycheck to paycheck until they get out of it. Me, when I was first able to experience non-paycheck to paycheck living was during the panoramic, and I got forlorn and I was getting government checks. To this day, those are some of the biggest checks I've ever seen in my life. Most important of all, those checks gave me a newfound sense of freedom and gave me actual fucking agency over my life. The crazy, people don't realize how much agency you lose without that discretionary spending. For example, during the aforementioned me being forlorn or whatever, I had the thought of oh my god, I was able to actually be human. Imagine putting in your 20, your 40 hours, bro, and then you don't get to do anything in your fucking free time because all your money is gone. All your money go to living expenses, existing. You exist when you live paycheck to paycheck. There was that.
Yeah, guys, that's why you got to save up. You can't be in debt. You don't want your monthly expenses to be too high. You want to get those down as low as possible. A man with no bills is a rich man. Shout out Jack at the Red Leather Podcast.
This is a massive fucking rant alert, 'cause I'm fucking fed up of this country. I know I shouldn't be swearing, but I'm angry. Do you know something? If you're a hard-working person in this country, the country just screws you over. Have you ever heard of a cold living payment? Basically, if you're on the dole or you claim any benefits, you get a cold living payment to help pay for your bills, right? For your heating and your gas and your electric, while you're sat at home all day with the heating on full blast, right? Watching Jeremy Kyle. The government give you money to do that. Where people like me and you are going out, working our arse off to put fucking money on the table, to put money in the bank, to put food on the table for our kids. Working in factories that are freezing. Working outside, which is freezing. Where's our money that the government want to give away? Where's our money for working outside in the freezing cold? Number two, if your dog is ill. Let me tell you a quick story. I took my dog got run over about 5 years ago. I took her to the vets. The bill comes to 1,200 quid because she had to have an overnight stay, etc. Do you know what the vet said to me? Said, if you was claiming benefits, you'd get this for free. Can you hear what I am saying? You would get this for free.
Yeah, and I do honestly think that there's this big government push where they're wanting everyone to be reliant on the government. It is kind of wild just how, well, I don't know how all other countries work, but the UK has some pretty nice benefits if you don't work, and it sort of pushes people like this guy here. I'm sure he's thinking about it. He's like, what's the point of even working anymore when I could not work, have all my free time, and still get paid money? I mean, obviously that's the bad mindset to be in, but it makes you really think sometimes, like, why am I wasting my time working if I just get taxed to no end? And I'm living paycheck to paycheck.
Government are forcing your hand, forcing people like your hand to not work because you get more things for it. How is that right? How is it even possible for people like you and I to be thinking to ourselves, it'd be better off if we didn't work, we'd be better off? It's absolutely insane. This is a massive...
I live paycheck to fucking paycheck. Like,
How much is in your bank account right now?
like $1,000.
Okay,
But I'm going to Paris, so I'll probably blow some more money.
Yeah, I thought this guy looked like a bit of an idiot, but now he's just said that he's confirmed he's an idiot. Like, if you've got $1,000 and you think going to Paris or going abroad, having a holiday is a wise move, such a dumb move. You deserve everything you get, in my opinion.
Do you like?
But I get paid from Cameo. I'll always have money.
Do you like Aufhängen?
I don't get paid enough for this shit.
Yeah, forget that guy.
Exactly doesn't mean to be living paycheck to paycheck. You will not have the savings to cover any unexpected expense. If you were to become unemployed tomorrow, you would not have any money to cover your bills. And you are not currently saving for retirement or for your future. There was a study done recently showing that 51% of six-figure earners are still living paycheck to paycheck. Because of course, there are people who live paycheck to paycheck because their paycheck literally just pays the bill. But there are also plenty of people living paycheck to paycheck because they are living beyond their means or right at their means. And from a psychology standpoint, the paycheck to paycheck cycle is a really great way to keep your body in fight or flight mode because no matter how much money you earn, it could all be stripped away tomorrow. Paycheck to paycheck is not a safe or secure way to live. You are literally living on the edge of poverty, even if you make six figures. And if you don't feel safe in security, no matter how much money you earn, you're gonna keep yourself in an unstable financial situation. I watch this cycle play out all the time with my clients. Getting out of this paycheck to paycheck cycle requires changing your spending habits, getting out of fight or flight, and actually sticking to a spending plan. It's about a whole lot more than just whether or not you're budgeting your money. If you'd like to learn more about ending...
Yeah, guys, leave me a comment. Are you living paycheck to paycheck? Were you living paycheck to paycheck? I'd love to know where you are in the world and what your situation is and how this is affecting you. We'll do one more and we'll get out of here.
Is for me the day before payday, and I am dragging out my last few fucking dollars. I am so over this feeling of dragging out or holding off until payday because I'm living paycheck to paycheck, because I'm working all the time, paying childcare, and still not having enough fucking money to do anything that I want to do or even just comfortably pay the bills. I know I am not alone in feeling this. The cost of living is extortionate at the moment. Like, I did a simple shop yesterday and it was like 2 bags worth and it was nearly $100. I mean, who working a general, normal, everyday 9 to 5 while having a family, who can afford to keep paying what we're paying to live? It's just insane. Sometimes I feel like I live in fear of the bills that are coming up, which is a mindset I'm really trying to change. But we do have 2 cars that transport us to and from our ways of making money. We do have 2 cars. They do need fueling, they do need servicing, they do need repairs, you know? We have 2 dogs. Both of these dogs are nearing like 9 years old. The vet bills are going to start to roll in. This is going to happen. We're facing school holidays. We're going to have to pay to do stuff, you know? It's like, yes, I'm very good at finding cheap alternatives or free alternatives, but sometimes you just can't. Sometimes you want to go out and you want to do something nice and you want to treat your children and you just, this is me such a massive drive as to why I'm here and why I'm determined to show up and keep working through this course and keep spreading how good it is and learn from it and how to make money in other ways online. But 2 sources of income, it's not enough to even live comfortably unless you're on the mega big bucks, which, you know, we're not on the mega big bucks. I'm so determined to turn this around. I truly believe that I was meant for more than this. This feeling of like dread when that bill comes in, and this feeling of like, oh well, you know, we have to check the bank account before we pay for our groceries, and just this horrible feeling of feeling actually kind of inadequate because you don't have the money left over each paycheck. And we're not irresponsible with money, and that's the part that I find so hard, is that we're not. As soon as we get paid, we put our money where it needs to be, and then we live off barely anything for the rest of the week. It's exhausting. Okay. I took a second because that passion was taking over. But that's so real. That's how I feel. You know, the day before payday, that's how I feel. And I know I'm not alone in feeling like that. I'm just going to use this as my drive. I'm going to hold on to that feeling of complete frustration, and I'm going to use it to move forward. So, yeah, I guess watch this space, because I'm so determined. I'm so fed up of this feeling of living paycheck to...
Yeah, that's a woman who's stressed out there. She's over it. I hope she gets out of it. Holly, I hope you're doing good. Leave me a comment, guys. Always love to hear what you guys are saying about this. I always respond to all the comments as well. So let's keep the community growing, and I'll catch you on the next one.